Listen up, all my freaks. This is your Warlord of Weird, Sinn Bodhi, talking at you, and we're live and in color with Wolfie D.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome once again to Live and in Color with Wolfie D. I'm Wolfie D, and my co-host here is Jimmy Street.
What's up? Not much, man. What are you doing, brother? How you doing?
I'm eating some Chili's leftovers, some steak, mashed potatoes, and corn. Just got back from the gym.
Yeah.
A little post-workout meal. Excited about today's show, man.
For sure, brother. We got Sinn Bodhi. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Your old buddy?
Yeah, known him since the early days of TNA. We were partners in the new church, and we're going to talk to him about that, talk to him about, his career. And also, I mean, I know you've seen him and I've seen him, and some of the fans have seen him. The LJN Custom figures he's doing are
dude,
off the charts bad.
Seriously, I know.
Yeah.
It's like he's elevated those. They were sort of looking good when they were young. I mean, that's all we had.
Yeah.
But dude, he is like taking it to a 10th degree, like on steroids, man. They're great. He just seems to have really found his niche with that. And I guess it's like, I've never had one up close. My brother collects those and he's interested in them. I've sent him pictures of those. And so it looks like 3D printer. I'm sure we'll talk to him about it and see exactly the process, but incredible stuff.
He's a great artist. And he's always been very artsy, stuff like that. So,
Wolfie, before we go into the show with Sinn today, I wanted to read something. So 2 weeks ago, we did the Josephus Memorial Show. Yeah. And great response. Some of our highest numbers. A lot of people enjoyed hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
We had Paul Diamond, but, there was somebody who sent us a message on our Instagram. And here's what she said. So she said, I just listened to the entire episode. It's wonderful and so glad to hear Seth speak and know a little bit about how his son is doing. I saw that video of Joseph commenting on Wolfie months ago, so it's great to get Wolfie's insight into all of that. Thank you all so much for doing this and keeping his memory alive. When Joseph's episode of Dark Side of the Ring premiered on the West Coast, my time, we were texting back and forth throughout the entire show. I told him I couldn't believe he was on my TV and my phone. We text each other almost daily for 2 years, up until a few days before his passing. I'm so glad I got a chance to meet him in person. I got to tell him how much I loved him and appreciated his advice, humor, and charm. And I miss him a great deal, as we all do. Thank you again. And huge hugs to you guys for keeping his memory alive. And that was from @EEM408. Yeah, man, I just had to share that. I know we're about to talk to Sinn here, but man, isn't that cool?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
And he was a very likable person.
Yeah. Well, it was a good show. It was a labor of love that we did that for sure, So anyway, I guess on with the show, but we definitely wanted to thank that listener for tuning in with us and keeping up with us. So
sure. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
With the bad.
Yeah, of course. We like good and bad. Constructive criticism.
All right, y'all. We'll be right back with Sinn Bodhi. Hey, folks, to get your official Live and in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to prowrestlingtees.com/live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again.
All right, folks, we're back. And as I promised you, some very special guest, good friend of mine. We were tag team partners for a little while, and we've just remained friends over the years. Very talented dude in the ring, out of the ring. Some of you have seen his me and Jimmy were talking about it a minute ago, the level that he has taken these custom LJN figures to. I'm talking about none other than Sinn Bodhi.
Hey, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm sitting here with my bucket of coffee with my black gold, and I was literally just looking around on my fancy computer here, getting ready to sculpt yet another LJN, and it might be you.
That's awesome.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, bro, as I'm kind of sculpting you and looking at your face and in your head. I miss your face, first off, but I gotta tell you, man, you got a weird shaped head, bro. It's like you got a head shape like an old school barn. You got this weird triangle head. I gotta sculpt it. I'm like, it looked like Gazoo from the Flintstones. I'm like, no, it's Wolfie D.
Oh man. All right.
Yes.
Just for that, I'm gonna have to draw you, and I'm gonna draw something really weird.
You draw something real sexy, and you get it right on the money.
Yes.
My middle name is Brad Pitt, stunt double.
You've taken these, man, like, because I remember when you first started doing them and they were good and everything, but man, it's a whole new level now. Like, I just seen that, I guess, kind of like the prototype for the Repo Man you did. I mean, it's really starting to take on like your artistic style, you know?
Oh, thanks, man. Well, the big difference is, like, so when I first started this, I was kind of doing it caveman style, where I would literally take X-Acto knives and drills and whatever, and I would chop up and play Mr. Potato Head with those old, like, rubber vintage LJNs. Yeah. So you can only kind of do a whole, only so much with those things, and like nothing wants to stick to rubber. Rubber is just the most uncompliant substance to work with at all. Like, it is just a pain in the ass. Yeah. And so, which is cool. Like, it's fine. It gives you a challenge. But now, like, doing the 3D sculpting and using like resin and epoxy and stuff like that, like, it's just an easier, not easier, but just more, it's the medium is easier to get what's in my brain onto, into 3D, into tangible life.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes total sense.
So just like just to be a total nerd here and say, like, if I wanted to chop up, use Nikolai Volkov legs and a B. Brian Blair upper body, well, that might look neat, but the legs are just way too big for that body. So on a 3D sculpting, I can like mirror image, and I can stretch and grow and shrink and do all sorts of cool stuff, and then add my own spin to things. And then I can even just add on like original sculpt, just like I would hand sculpt something out of clay or epoxy. I can literally digitally sculpt it. So kind of drawing with your brain on the computer is really like sky's the limit.
Yeah. I love, I know you've seen where I've kind of started doing some more drawings again, like on the iPad. People are wanting me to do stuff on paper, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, but I just love doing it on the iPad, man, with the pen. It's like freehand, but then I can add so much more to it that I can't do with just a pencil and some markers and stuff,
Oh yeah, totally. Well, it's just like, when you look at a comic book from like the 80s or something, and or 70s, and then like they've got those pixelated, really plain, like one color, like Superman's shirt is like one color pixelated blue. But now you see those fancy comics like Image Comics and like guys like Todd McFarlane and stuff like that, were like really awesome at using some really easy new graphics. And I remember when we saw those like Image and Spawn and those things when we were like, what the heck is this? Holy crap, my mind is blown. So like they're drawing the same kind of stuff, but then they're putting it on the fancy computer and using the lasers and using the internet and using the alien technology, and boom, bada bing. It's magic.
Oh. One thing I loved about it is I noticed that you straightened Big John Studd's legs. So I'm giving you props for that.
Yeah. I gotta be humble. I'll do it like an old school wrestler. I'll steal it fair and square, and I'll say I got that idea from another guy, and I thought that's a great idea, because all of us as kids were like, man, Big John Studd, him looking like he's trying to drop a deuce. I don't know. It just doesn't really work. But So some other cat. So like when I say that, when I kind of joke about old school wrestling, like Wolfie would know like this term, like stealing it fair and square. If you're gonna beg, borrow, steal, morph, twist, some old move or a catchphrase or something, you're going to also put over a footnote in history of where you got it. So, oh yeah, I got that thing from Wolfie D, or I was inspired by this thing by Wolfie D, you know. So like when I saw that Big John Studd straight legged thing, I was just like, fuck, I gotta make one of those. That's really, really cool.
Which one they bombed on, to me, it was Jimmy Snuka's figure. I fucking hated that one. The pose was stupid, and he wasn't big enough, and it didn't look right to me.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of those figures really, like, so I think we all love those LJNs, not because of the quality of the craftsmanship, but because they're gateways to our nostalgia.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
You know, like there's all the funny memes like, hey, if you grew up in the 80s, if you had this and this, if you were drinking out of garden hoses and riding your bicycles without helmets and you were playing outside, then you had a good childhood, you know, that kind of stuff. And I think if you were pistol whipping each other with rubber wrestlers in the 80s as a kid, you were having a great childhood.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
yeah.
So, but the quality of them is like physically, the rubber quality is awesome. They're durable, but as far as the creative quality, they're the shits. They're just reminders of yesteryear.
Right.
Most of them are the shits, really.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like, I remember the Mr. Wonderful looked really good. I think the Macho Man looked really good. The Hogan's face sculpt wasn't very good. Honestly, Hogan was a little small, you know, but I don't know. They were still so much fun, man, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I'll tell you a funny story about that Hogan one. So growing up with Edge and Christian, like, that's how we originally, like, that was the first taste of wrestling psychology. We would book cards for our little LJNs, and we would argue over who's going to go over, and sometimes we weren't like really putting over the guys that maybe we really liked in real life. We were putting the guys over that had the cooler poses or had the cooler toy. Like, I love Jake the Snake, but I'm like, how are you going to DDT somebody with the fucking hands up in the air? You know,
right.
Like, I always used to tell Jake, I'm like, how are you supposed to DDT anybody? Brother, I don't know. I didn't make that fucking doll.
Yeah, brother.
Tell the fucking marketing guy, brother. But the funny story about Hogan is, like, so Edge was such a Hogan mark that he would get so mad if me and Christian scuffed his Hulk Hogan. He'd be like, you asshole, scuff Hulk Hogan. He'd walk in the corner of the room, me and Christian against the wall and mean shit to Hulk Hogan. But during the pandemic, I remember calling Edge and going, hey, I'm going to put you in a bad mood. He goes, what do you mean? I go into your box of LJNs and go look at your old Hulk Hogan figure and go look at his fists. And he goes, why? I go, it's going to piss you off. Just go look. And so, like, you know, we're in our 40s, and so he goes back on the phone, and he's like, motherfucker, blah, 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 and he's all hot. And I'm like, I told you. He goes, what asshole sculptor fucking sculpted Hulk Hogan's fist with thumbs out? Every wrestler, every decent fighter knows thumbs in. And we just were starting laughing. We were just laughing that, like, half these things, like, they must have been sculpted by hairdressers or baristas or something, because, like, half of them got their thumbs out. Like, you're not gonna throw a punch with your thumbs out. What's wrong with you, LJN sculptors?
Right.
Hulk.
So there's my ridiculous nerd. There's my ridiculous nerd tantrum. There's my busted open radio style tantrum.
I love it. Thank you.
He did have a good pose. Hogan's figure had a good pose for doing a majority of moves, though, because some of them you couldn't really make it look right. But his was he had a good body slam, you know, all that stuff. But anyway,
Andre's face looked like one of those Easter Island monuments too. I remember that. But anyway, we'll go.
Yeah. Yes, you were 100% right.
I'd love that some more, man, because I definitely want people to be able to check you out and stuff on social media. We'll get to that at the end. Let's get into wrestling, man. Let's talk about wrestling and how you got started, man, and what made you want to wrestle and all those starting questions that I usually give everybody. How'd you do it? Why? When? Where?
Long and short is because I love it.
Yeah,
I did love it. Do love it. Will love it. But again, grew up with Edge and Christian. We were just the biggest fucking marks ever. We loved it. We're up in the snow, up in Canada, in parts unknown Canada, you know, just north of Toronto, in a little rural town called Orangeville. And, you know, when wrestling videotapes would come to the little local video stores, and you would have to haul ass to be with the first kid or one of the first kids to get the video rental, because there's a whole town of kids that wanted to get the best of WWF Volume 6 or Starrcade or whatever the heck it was. Yeah. And so there was always a semblance of urgency. So I think wrestling always kind of gave you that looking forward to something like, stay tuned next week, same bad time, same bad channel for Saturday's main event, because Hogan's going to save the day because this happened, or Roddy Piper did this and that happened. And so it just was always like this awesome superhero sporty soap opera.
Yeah.
That it just had me hooked. Like, you know, I'm gonna get a lot of heat for saying this, but like, I'm not a team sports guy. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not a housewife. I'm not cheering for my Penguins or my Leafs or my Raiders or my whatever. You said, hey, let's go to the park and play tackle football or touch football or play baseball. I'm going to do it shitty, but I'm going to go do it because I'm going to go have fun with some guys out in real life, out in the grass, messing around. I don't need to sit on the couch like a little hen and go, ooh, look at he's so-and-so. Oh, he scored, he dunked, he whatever. Fuck off, you know, but, you know, I'm not a housewife or a house husband by today's standards, whatever.
And Chris Champion back in the day.
It's boring as shit to me. Yeah, it's boring as shit. But superheroes and stories and heroes and villains, that to me is what captured my imagination.
We were in a dressing room one time, and a bunch of the guys were sitting around talking about football, and fucking decided, you know, people kind of across the way, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Chris just out of nowhere from the middle of like the little circle of people that were talking, he goes, who gives a fuck? Yeah. Like, I really could care if somebody could put a ball through a hoop. I know they're athletic. I get it. I know, you know, like, I think hockey and football are so athletic. I get it. I just don't want to fucking watch it. Like, again, like, I know it's important to take the garbage out and be a garbage man, or to be a librarian, or to be a this or be a that. I just have no interest in doing it.
Right.
I don't want to watch the Raiders score a touchdown. I could give a flying fuck. No, again, you know, so many people are probably going to get so mad at me, but everybody's triggered these days. So fuck it. I just don't care. But, you know, are you triggered? Oh, that's awful. Oh,
what was your, what was the first live event you went to? Do you remember?
Dude, my first live event was in Orangeville, Ontario, Canada. I got to see, I want to say, just probably like a little teeny bopper. Sabu is like, I want to say he was like the Jungle Boy or something. Sweet Daddy Siki, the Bear Man, the Sheik, the original Sheik. I got to see all these guys in my little hockey arena in my hometown. And I saw the giant, like a bear, like there was a fucking bear, like a bear wrestled a dude. It was awesome. Like, I missed that shit. That, to me, I was just like, man, I want to see somebody, like, I don't want to see animal cruelty. Like, I love animals. Humans, I could take or leave, but animals, I care about all day long. Speaking of which, can I, when does this air? Can I plug something that's just kind of important to me that's got nothing to do with wrestling or anything?
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely, man.
Okay. Speaking of animals. So here, I live in Las Vegas, and on the outskirts of Las Vegas, they're trying to, in a rural area called Pahrump, they're trying to outlaw people having livestock and chickens and all these things. So if y'all care about wrestling, y'all give a shit about any of us taking bumps for y'all and us kicking the shit out of each other for y'all, please just go to the Pahrump page. It's just Las Vegas page, and just say, don't take away our chickens, don't take away our cows and our goats. Please keep Pahrump rural. So I appreciate that, because that's just, I think it's just so important. And I want to talk about wrestling. I don't want to talk about politics, but I just think, like, in a time when inflation is crazy and there's no baby formula and food is expensive and you know, people at the helm are giving our money to other people instead of giving it to us. I think we should be able to do for ourselves. I don't think it should be illegal for us to sell each other eggs or to grow produce in our backyards or whatever. So anyway, I don't want to I don't want to be all serious and political. I want to be silly and I want to talk wrestling. So I just want to put that out there and just let everybody know that that's super duper important. It not just my area, but everybody's area. Y'all need to stand up and look at what our politicians are doing to us. And I think they should be giving us more rights, not less rights.
Amen. Amen.
I agree with you, man. I'm sure a lot of people do agree with you. That's okay that you throw that out there. We talk about everything on here, man.
I appreciate it. And like wrestling has really allowed me to learn probably more than the average bear, as I'm sure you would agree, that it lets you see the long con and the forest of the trees. Like, to be a worker is to be a wrestler, not to be a wrestler, but you know what I'm talking about, Wolfie, is like to be a worker. You know, we say worker, but those are truly few and far between. Like, to understand how to tell a story, how to, draw the correct emotions out of people, how to get them happy, mad, sad, empathetic, angry, laughing. That's an art form.
Right.
Being athletic is a whole other piece of the puzzle, but telling that story, boy, oh boy. And being a wrestler, being a worker, learning to some of these storylines that the planet Earth is running is makes some wrestling storylines look boring or look like they pale in comparison. When billionaires are buying up all the farmland on the world and they're looking at feeding us bugs and doing all sorts of weird shit. I don't know. That's pretty heel storylines, if you ask me.
100%. Yep. You're exactly right.
So there you go.
Word up.
But again, I don't want to get you all heat, and I don't mind getting myself heat. What's going to happen? This man isn't going to book me, or Tony Khan isn't going to book me, or whatever. So I might as well just say what I truly think.
Feeling of looseness these days, such as I do, where I really don't care. Used to, you kind of would watch what you say, even before internet and all that. You kind of watch what you say and bite your tongue, and because for fear of retaliation and bookings or something like that. But now it's like
100%. Yeah, 100%. And two, I got to feel justified in my currency is karma. I'm not Mother Teresa, but I like to sleep at night. So whatever's coming out of my face is meant with empathy and strength and kindness. It's not meant to be, to be a motherfucker. It's not meant to be hateful. It's not meant to be condescending. It's meant to just, to be useful. It's meant to be, hey, motherfuckers, open your eyes. Be kind to each other. I can wrap up my politics and my religion with Bill and Ted's, bro. Just be excellent to one another. That's it.
Man, that's it. That is it.
And if somebody's going to hate me for that, then they can go fuck off.
Yeah, right. Because they're not excellent.
That's right. If you can't be excellent to each other and yourselves, fuck off.
It's a modification of the golden rule, which honestly, the golden rule is so needed in every just piece of life anymore, of treat each other as you would like to be treated. That's just God, man.
Amen.
How did
I'll tell you this. I tell it to wrestling students and stuff all the time. I'm like, look, pick, don't be a bargain basement whomever. Don't be a bargain basement Bret Hart or Road Warriors or Ultimate Warrior, whatever. Take five or so people, fictional or real, that you look up to, that you care about, that you think are interesting. And take one or two little elements of those people. And, for whatever reason, body language, vocal stuff, promo stuff, move stuff, costume stuff, whatever it is. But one of the things I always, when the people go, who are yours? You'd never know, because I'm not a bargain basement copy of any of them, but I definitely take bits and pieces. And one of my things in life as a coach, in the ring, out of the ring, wherever, is MLK. I'm an MLK guy. I don't give a fuck what color you are. I care about the content of your person, of your character. Right. I care that you do the work and you have a good heart and a good brain. I don't give a fuck what you like to get down with in the sack. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what God or science or Howard the Duck, whoever you pray to. I don't give a fuck as long as you are a good person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to give me heat for that, then bring it on, baby.
No heat from me. I agree with you 100%.
Appreciate that.
But getting back to some wrestling stuff, you were talking about your first live event and everything. I remember mine. It was at the fairgrounds, and I really don't remember the most of the show, but for whatever reason, and neither one of these were really my favorite wrestlers, but I thought they were good, and for some reason, I just remember the match. I say that. I remember them being in the ring and me just kind of bug-eyed out there like, whoa.
You remember the feeling.
Bill Dunn and Terry Taylor. But for some reason, I just remember that match. I don't remember anything else that was on the card, honestly. But for some reason,
I think you remember it the same way that I remember it. I don't remember much of it either. I just remember the feeling. I remember going, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, and what a lot of people say, and I recall that my first time, was how loud the ring is and all that. And you're hearing, it's different than watching on TV. You're there and that ring's loud and you're hearing the bodies hit together, and you know what I mean? It's a very cool experience.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't. I think like you just can't wrap your brain around. And two, like you know, until you see it live, it's hard to wrap your brain around wrestling. And I'm not making any excuses for wrestling. You know, again, like I don't want to watch team sports. So if you don't want to watch wrestling, that's cool too. You know, we all got tastes and flavors and choices and all that jazz. But like to watch wrestling on TV, that's all fine and good. But to see it live is where to me the magic is. Like again, like I don't really care to watch Big Bird on Ice on TV, but if you're like, hey, Sinner, I got 2 tickets to Big Bird on Ice. You want to go? I'll be like, fuck yeah, I want to go see Big Bird skate around and fucking clothesline Oscar the Grouch on the fucking ice. Of course, I want to see that shit like live. Everything's better live.
Yeah, right.
And do you remember, like, I do, like the first time being in the crowd and like when somebody like maybe took a body slam or got thrown out of the ring and you could feel their body through the concrete to your feet wherever you were sitting. And I just remember that. And I always, when I threw myself, or got thrown out of the ring or whatever, I always try to hit that even after we got pads. I started when we didn't have padding, but even after that, I still tried to hit that concrete as hard as I could. And I would always hear that same reaction from the people that were pretty close by of, oh my God, so that always stuck out to me too. It's little shit like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. When you could feel like that vibration and you could feel their pain and, they're selling and people don't realize, I think too, not to heal on the younger guys, I think and the girls, I think there's just, they'll get it as they get it. But when they're not selling anything because they're marking out for their own moves, and they're just making those fancy moves be so less special. But like, as Edge would say, hey man, body slam sucks. Sell it like it sucks.
Yeah.
Wow, and like hitting that concrete or hitting that turnbuckle or getting walled with that chair, getting walled with a clothesline, man, that all fucking sucks. So I don't know what the big deal is to put over that it sucks. So fans go, ooh, I bet you that sucks.
Yeah. And it's the little
whole lot of sucking going on.
Like for me, it's just an old timer thing in me and somebody puts me in the corner and rears back and chops me. Okay, I'm cool with that. But you know where I'm going as soon as they chop me? I'm staggering, selling either to my knees, but away from them to another corner or something.
Right.
So that they can't rapid fire my ass, so that they got to follow me selling. And then I might turn around for you and, if you want to do another one, whatever. But that's me doing 2 things, getting the chop over. But second of all, I'm not going to sit there and let you wear me out either.
Right. Yeah. Well, I see guys just sitting there with their elbows on the top ropes like they're just hanging out having a beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, if I grabbed you, if I punched you or chopped you or choked you or something in the corner of a bar, would you sit there like that with your arms on the fucking bar and just let me do that? They're like, no, I'd be trying to hit you. I'd be doing something. I go, yeah, motherfucker. So think, shoot, but work.
Right. That's exactly. Shoot, but work. Work to shoot, however you want to say it. Yeah. Got to make it. Like some of these moves, I saw these girls do this move. And, I mean, it's getting to a point where, okay, let's stop trying to just invent shit that don't even, it don't look like it hurts, or B, it looks like y'all are really working together to pull this off. I mean, you've got to do moves that look like they could work. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, dude. When I'm watching two guys or girls, whoever it is, that are just so collaborating, like they're like helping each other up to the top rope to get this one little tandem, this triple Indy, off into the air, this triple sow cow that they're going to work together to hit. I'm like, fuck off. Like, fight your way up there. If you can't balance and fight with each other, grip onto each other and fight your way up there, and then do what you got to do, then I don't need to see it. Same thing. I do not need to see y'all singing Kumbaya on the fucking concrete, waiting for a dive, staring at it a mile away. Why would you stand on the highway and go, hey man, see that Mack truck a mile away? It's going to hit me anytime. Here it comes. I see that Mack truck coming. I'm not getting out of the way because it just looks so pretty up on the freeway coming at me. I'm just going to stand here and look at it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to catch this fucking truck. Bullshit.
Right.
I'm not saying to not do the dive. I'm not saying to not catch the dude. I'm not saying to not get run over by the truck. I'm saying just don't see the fucking truck coming.
Right. The one that I can't stand is the guys that are running the ropes with the clothesline and they don't get down far enough. So the guy giving the clothesline has to basically raise his arm up like he's in school saying, teacher, call on me. I can't stand that. I mean, that's just.
Oh, you mean like ducking a line when they're dragging the knuckles on the ceiling? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, I hate that. Yes, that's so horrible.
Yeah. Hey, youngsters out there, if you're going to throw a clothesline, throw it. That person ducks. Awesome. If they don't duck, take them. Just take them in a working fashion. Like, know how to hold your shit.
Right.
Yeah. You got to throw the clothesline like it's coming normal. It's up to them to get out of the way. If they don't, because you both look stupid if you're throwing one high and he never ducks.
Yeah. When they drag their knuckles on the ceiling, I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to do. You trying to whiff that dude with Pity City? Like you trying to hit some nasty boy shit? And, just face rub him with your armpit? Like, what are you trying to do, bro?
Yeah.
Or Darlin or whoever the fuck it is, But I mean, throw that clothesline straight, but like, so, pulling the curtain back, it's funny to me when I hear, like, kayfabe's gone. I don't think kayfabe's gone at all. I think we pulled back the curtain a little bit. Fans are a little more savvier, a little, not a lot, but a little more savvier. But if you have not been in the ring, you're nothing more than an armchair quarterback. I don't give a fuck who you are. Again, give me some heat. I don't care. I don't care if you're a big top fucking whatever. If you've never set foot in that ring, you have no fucking clue. You can guess.
Right.
You can guess how David Copperfield pulled that rabbit out of the universe. You just don't fucking know or appreciate what level of, pugilism, what level of athleticism, what level of timing, what level of duress and impact and masochism you have to go through and all that stuff, and keep your wits together while you're getting your bell rung.
True.
You have no idea of that. Like, I mean, as a coach, I'll teach guys that are wanting to learn, and like, they're not computers. I can't just stick a thumb drive in their ear and then they have the knowledge. I could tell them 1,000 times, but until they get it, until their brain and their body sync up and they go, oh, like this, like I could tell you, hey man, climb up to that top rope and walk across the top rope to the next top rope. And just pigeon toe your feet out, keep your arms out, balance your weight, just walk across. Well, that's all fine and good. I just gave you the theory, but your body's going to have to practice that for years and years if you're ever going to be a tightrope walker.
Right.
So like, I love saying this to wrestling students, so fans can hear this, wrestling students, wrestlers can hear this. Jake the Snake would say, practice 1,000 times until you get it right. And Dr. Tom would say, don't practice till you get it right. Practice till you cannot get it wrong. That takes elbow grease. That takes back to the Martin Luther King thing. Put in the elbow grease. Content of the person, motherfucker. Do the work.
Right.
Learn the devil in the details. Learn your trade. Don't just get a fancy pair of kick pads. Learn how to do a flip and you're a fucking pro.
Yeah. And that's the case a lot of time.
I giggle, dude. I did an AEW dark match a month or so ago. Which I remember you were ribbing me about. And so I watched it back and I'm listening. I'm giggling because I was talking with Taz backstage before I had wrestled. So, he had called my Kazarni stuff. So we were cool. And so he's like, oh yeah, I love this new look. Yeah, he looks scary. Yeah, he look this, da, da, da. And it was great to see him. It was nice to see Taz. It's cool. Always got along great with Taz. And so I'm listening to the commentary. And so the match is short and sweet. We got about 27 seconds to do a 6-man tag. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna get 2.0. I'm gonna get them some heat, but I'm gonna keep strong because guess what, motherfuckers? I want a job.
Right.
And I'm not doing anybody any favors in the ring or the people in the stands that bought a ticket by just giving 2.0 a meal. I'm not letting anybody eat me up. You can destroy me, but I am going to look like I'm trying to fucking win. And I'm going to look like I could win if maybe I zigged instead of zagged or whatever. So I'm just not going to go to the ring looking like a fucking piece of meat ready to be ate up. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, I told the one young man in the tag, when you come in, I'll give you a couple shots. Do not bump. He's like, I gotta look strong. We're going into butt and guts. It's cool, man. I get it. I got you. I get it. You're stressed out. You want to keep your spot. You want to look good in your spot. I got you, kid. I coached those motherfuckers at the PC, so they kind of let me do what I wanted. So they're like, because they're used to probably just squashing indie guys that are just so eager just to get in that ring and stand there and get slaughtered. I'm like, that's great. I'll get you your heat. I'll do my job, but I also would like a job. And they're like, yep, totally cool. Get it. So I gave them a couple shots. I made those shots fucking count. So I just didn't throw punches the way anybody else threw them on the card. I threw punches like I was in a bar fight, and I was going to beat the shit out of those fucking guys.
Yeah. Well,
except the only difference
is when they tell you, like, just a certain story of Puerto Rico and Dutch and blah, blah, blah. But he had told us, go out there and get over. And we were heels. And no, like now, today, and before today, but obviously, but I know what that means. Back then, I really didn't. I thought I did, but I didn't. But
right. I think a lot of people think they do, but they don't.
Right. It's a whole different
concept. And then they get triggered and upset, and then they bow up because coaches dare tell them something useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Jeez.
And then here's another quote. I gave you a Jake quote. I gave you a Doc quote. Here's an Al Snow quote. I am responsible for what I say, not for what you understand. And again, I'll go back to one of our favorites, Raven. Raven would be like, you're too green to know how dumb you are. You're too dumb to know how green you are. Either way, it works.
That's a good one.
That's a good impression.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's really good.
But it's true. It's fucking true. When a parent tells their kids, eat your veggies, do your homework, go to bed at a reasonable hour, and the kid's going, fuck you, mom and dad, you don't know. Right. Yeah, they do know, stupid. You're just too fucking dumb and young and ignorant and entitled and weak and narcissistic and triggered to fucking have a clue that anybody's helping you.
Right.
But they are. Those coaches are helping you. Like, they're making you eat your vegetables and go to bed at the right hour and do your homework, you fucks.
Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope-ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D. Hey folks, this is Wolfie D here, and if you are looking to buy or sell a home in Tennessee or Southern Kentucky, you're going to want to call my buddy, the rock star realtor, Benji Bowie. And you say, Wolfie, how do I get in touch with this rock star? Well, you can call him directly at 615-390-8216. You can go to his website, bowiehomes.com. That's B-U-I-E homes.com. Or you can email him at benbowie34@gmail.com. When you need a home, you need the Rockstar Realtor.
Benji is a member of Exit Realty's Garden Gate team in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Hey, so, what's kind of funny is we'll tell Jimmy kind of about this. I think I told Jimmy. But when I got the call for the Impact Slammiversary, and you could say, we can edit this if you don't want to talk about it or whatever.
No, we could talk about it. Again, gloves are off, bro. I give a fuck who gets mad. I just don't give a fuck.
Me and Sinn are talking on the phone, and he just asked me out of the blue, I think it was, you texted me or something. You said, has anybody from Impact called you or something like that? And I'm like, yeah, you? And you're like, no. It's like, fuck them, blah, 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 blah. I said, yeah, I don't know, dude. I said, I don't even know what I'm doing. I said, it's some kind of reverse battle roll. I have no idea what it is, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, like them. But then it popped me even more that a week or two later, you done popped up on AEW. And to me, I was like, there you go. To me, that was kind of like you saying, fuck y'all, I don't need no Slammiversary. I'll go to AEW.
Well, I will say this. I was hot. Being one of the guys that were kind of, I was like, I wasn't like technically an exact TNA original, but I was one of those guys in the first couple of years. Yeah. And I'd like to think that me, you, and Evil Jim, we put a pretty good dent in TNA being the new church, and I was pretty damn proud of that. And I still love it to this day. And I get two questions repeating through. I'm going into my 23rd year. I know you wrestled a lot longer than I am because you're old as fuck. You're probably younger than me. But I get two questions throughout all my years, like that are just the most consistent questions. Is Vince McMahon really an asshole? And when are we ever going to see the new church?
Right.
I get new church all the fucking time. I've gotten it for years. And whether we wrestle, ever tag again or anything, that's all fine and good. I'm just happy that we're buddies, but I'm just letting you know that has been the number one question. People ask me all sorts of other stuff about all sorts of things, but Vince and the church, those were the two things that people have asked me more than anybody else has asked me anything. And I was proud as shit of that. So I was just kind of a little butthurt, like we have thick skin as performers. But like when they're doing the Slammiversary and I see like Evil Jim is on there, I'm happy. I love it. I love seeing Jim Mitchell on there. He's one of my boys. You're one of my boys. I love you guys. And I'm happy to see both of you on there. And then I thought, hey, man, you know, pretty sure there's 3 of us. They couldn't fucking shoot me a fucking call or fucking say, hey, you want to drive there, fly there, whatever. Like the payday will be shit, but it'll be cool. You know, just the effort would have been cool. And like, I love Scott D'Amore. I love D'Lo Brown. You know, I love all these companies. I love Impact. I love AEW. I love WWE. I got nothing but love for wrestling. But at the same time, man, you know, Road Dogg told us, do you remember this? Road Dogg said this. We were getting fucked around by TNA back in the day when we were still, like, when we were the church. Yeah. And me and you were both just, we're being good little soldiers, smiling and just eating shit. You know, whatever they were telling us to do, whatever dumb thing they want us to do, we're like, yes, sir, we'll do it. And we kept on getting it over. Whatever stupid thing they asked us to do, we'd get that shit over. Yeah. But we were both kind of hot, and we weren't putting it over to anybody except Road Dogg noticed. Road Dogg walked up to us and goes, boys, pro wrestling is like an abusive spouse. All you do is love it, and all it does is beat you up. Yeah. And then when you're about out of it, it sucks you back in and says, hey, baby, come home, please. I won't hit you again. And then you go, okay, I guess maybe this time it'll be different. And then you go back, and she beats you up some more. And Road Dogg closed it by saying, so just enjoy it for what it is. Love the ride. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Basically, right.
And that's, that always stuck with me. So if you're out there listening, Road Dogg, thank you. You know, I think I just needed a kick in the pants that day. Just like when I was kind of hot and you were kind of cooling me down, about it. You're like, oh man, it's no big deal. It's just what is it? I'm like, it is a fucking big deal because like we busted our ass for that company. We're pioneers of that company. And I just kind of felt it was just kind of a slap in the face, you know? And
I know,
but again,
I know for you, I know, I get it.
I think too, for everything, for WWE, AEW, ROH, Impact, you name it, wherever, there's always, you know, there's amazing stuff. And then there's other stuff where you're like, why did they do that? Or why wouldn't they have done this? Or why wouldn't they have brought this? Or why wouldn't they, whatever. And then you also too, you're the hero of your own narrative. So you're thinking, what about me? What about little old me? I'm happy for everybody else, but what about little old me? Yeah. You know, like I enjoyed thoroughly. Like I was backstage at AEW for about 2 weeks. I was there for all their stuff in Vegas and all their stuff in LA. It was super fun. The backstage atmosphere was amazing. I got to meet a bunch of new people I never met, and I got along great with them. They were wonderful. I got to catch up with a lot of boys I haven't seen and girls that I haven't seen in a long time, and it was wonderful. Yeah. And but I would say, and I'm happy as heck for them that they're all at a great company, at a big company with a generous boss and all that stuff. And I would just like to say, but what about me? What about me? I can hang toe to toe with any motherfucker at that fucking company or any company, as you could, you know, as we could. And so I'll shamelessly put this over. Hey fans, you want to see the new church at AEW? Tell Tony Khan about it. Tag that motherfucker. Tag AEW. Tag Impact. Tag WWE. Tag New Japan. Don't just message us and say it'd be really neat to see it. Don't tell me. Tell those motherfuckers. Right. You want to see the church? You want to see the church outwork? Like Christian says, outwork everybody. You want to see the new church outwork everybody? Tell Tony Khan to book us, motherfuckers. It's without you fans, we get new shit. Right. We could throw this punch. We could have the best look. We could cut the best fucking. We could do this. We could do that. We could put dudes over. We can go over. We can be good guys or bad guys. But unless you bug Tony Khan or Vince McMahon or Scott D'Amore or Tiger Hattori or Conan or whoever, then we're not going to do shit.
Hashtag book the new church. That's it.
Yes.
I guess one of the things that I want to say is I look at on Wikipedia, and I did cheat, I can't lie. I look at the guys you were trained by, and you could literally, that's like somebody's Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean? So I know there were some other names on there, but Dr. Tom Pritchard, Jake the Snake Roberts, Dusty Rhodes, Al Snow, Rip Rogers. Here's the thing, man.
And Ron Hutchinson.
Yeah, there you go. Can you put a little like timeline on when you maybe something just timeline on when you got with those guys?
Sure. So yeah, I was definitely trained by a Mount Rushmore of wrestlers for sure. Jake the Snake, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Rip Rogers, Al Snow, Dusty Rhodes, Ron Hutchinson. So my pedigree is pretty darn good. So the way that unfolded was I got my basics from Ron Hutchinson. For those of y'all who don't know, he also trained Edge, Christian, Beth Phoenix, Tracy Brooks, Gail Kim, Johnny Swinger, and so forth. So not too shabby company right there. So I guess you know, if you're gonna have one stinker in the bunch, I guess still Ron. I guess you couldn't have them all. You know, one of the 8 and bad, and then. Who else we got? So Jake the Snake, right after that, was basically my mentor. I met him in England. We wrestled. We kind of hooked up we did a loop together in Ontario, Canada, not far from my home turf. And we just got along. And he was just like, man, he goes, I think Vince McMahon would really like you. You need a bit of polishing. Like, this was still brand new. Like, I was still early into my career, like only a year or so in. He's like, yeah, you got, you know, psychology to learn, but you have a great look. You have a great attitude. You're a big dude, all that stuff. He goes, I think too, with all the crazy circus stuff, Vince would really like you. So he offered me to kind of go on the road with him. And he's like, why don't you come down to Fort Lauderdale? So again, this is in Ontario, Canada. He's like, why don't you come down to Fort Lauderdale and live there, and we'll ride together. We'll tag a bit. We'll work a bit. I'll coach you a bit, and I'll give you what you need. And I thought, well, fuck yeah. And then I kind of thought, man, that 24-hour drive would be a good rib from Toronto to Fort Lauderdale, because doesn't that motherfucker live in Stone Mountain, Georgia? But I figured the rib, the risk of the rib was worth it. So I did it, and we've been you know, thick as thieves ever since. And then so I did a bit with the Impact and TNA, and that's when I got to meet Wolfie and Jim Mitchell and Shane Douglas, who I'll kind of footnote in there, is sort of like, those guys helped me and taught me a lot more than they realized, and they were kind to me, and they gave me knowledge that they did not need to give me. They gave me bits of psychology and how, and just why and where and how and what. And Wolfie was like that in the ring. Mitchell was like that with the promos. Shane Douglas was like that with both. You know, they were both, all three of them were just giving, and that. So thank you for that too, by the way, Wolfie. I don't know if I ever really even kind of explained that to you, but so thank you.
I appreciate it, man.
And then you're welcome, sir. And then moving on into OVW, I got to learn from Rip Rogers. Man, what a brain. What a funny, talented, old school cat. They just don't build them like that anymore.
Right.
And at FCW, it was Dr. Tom and Dusty Rhodes for the most part. A little bit of Steve Kern, a little bit of Ricky Steamboat. So again, not too shabby on that Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Doc, it was weird. Doc and Kern, but Doc really, he trusted me to kind of help, kind of be sort of like a Bull Durham. You know, guys like me, Colt Cabana, Heath Slater, TJ Wilson, Tyson Kidd. He would have us. He would trust us to get in the ring and show bigger, scarier guys how to move, because he knew we could take the hits. He knew we were patient, and he didn't want to get in the ring with some of those big guys. Just to be like, I ain't getting in there, baby. You go school them, Sinn Bodhi. You show them what's up.
Yes. I was going to ask for that. I was going to ask for a Dusty impersonation. So thank you.
Oh, dude, Dusty was the funniest. Dusty's so learning in Dusty's promo classes and stuff, like I would see all these guys literally pacing nervously, memorizing these funny sports entertainment horseshit promos. And then Dusty would spoon feed them. Okay, so you're wrestling Kane at Unforgiven for the IC title, baby. You got a minute. Give me something. Don't make it the shit. You know, and so would go out there and would do whatever, and it'd be terrible. Most of the time, and then,
right.
And I would never go off and memorize shit. I would always sit right in front of Dusty where Dusty could see me, and he knew I was he knew I would just riff off the fly. So he would tell these guys, hey, you're wrestling so and such and such for such and such. Well, you give him all these bullet points, and he just look at me, and go, Sinn Bodhi, get up there and entertain me, baby. And so I would just go up there, and I would just heel on who the fuck ever went before me. So Dusty just always knew I was off the fly. Like I was Jake's student. Like I learned about promos from Jake the Snake, and then I learned from promos from Dusty Rhodes. So like I can bullshit, I can go, I can talk, and like it was funny. I'll give you kind of a neat thing that wrestling students, even wrestlers, might kind of get a kick out of. Like everybody always, oh, that's cool, you're training with Jake. Or, that's cool about Jake. I love his promos. Right. And I studied those promos just the same as everybody else. But you know what I asked that nobody else asked? Jake, who did you study?
Right.
That was a fucking interesting bit of conversation. Like he would say stuff like televangelist. He would say Charlie Manson. Like Charlie Manson would he would sing song shit together. And that's exactly what Jake would do. Like he would take one idea and just start riffing. Like he'd be like, the sky is blue, man. Look at them clouds, baby. Look at those birds flying through those clouds. I hope those birds don't get lost in them clouds, but they just know how to sway and swoop through those clouds across the ether, looking down at planet Earth, man. You know, he's not saying anything and saying everything. I'm just bullshitting about some fucking seagulls, and it sounds like some diabolical shit. Like that's Jake 101. That's hence Charlie Manson 101. Who did Jake study?
Right. Bray Wyatt had to take some of that because a lot of his early fresh out of NXT promos had that Jake sway to it, that like, he was trying to do more like a New Orleans accent, it sounded like, but he definitely had a little
take that Sinn Bodhi.
maybe that's the one. I think bing bing bing.
Well, so like when I was there, and so again, I've talked about this, and people get mad or whatever. I'm like, I'm just calling a spade a spade. I love Bray Wyatt. I love Wyndham Rotundo. He's a good dude. IRS is a good dude. IRS was one of my agents, one of my producers at SmackDown and on live events. IRS is a good dude. I marked out getting to be in the ring with Barry Windham, his uncle, man. Like that's a cool family. Like I respect that family, and I think Bray Wyatt is so fucking talented. But when he first got there, and he wasn't even Husky Harris yet, and he would just constantly ask me questions. Why you do this? Why you do that? Exactly the way I would ask Jake. And I was an open book because I thought we're at the same company together. I'm not going to hoard my spot. I'm going to try to make money with everybody. That's why Vince is paying me. So I'm going to be fruitful with my knowledge. So I'll be like, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do this. This is why, this is why, this is why. And he said, and I'll get all a bunch of grief over this because wherever the fuck he winds up, he's going to be a top guy, and I don't need to get buried, but I'm just saying it. I just call it like what it is. I don't mind being the Carl Perkins to his Elvis Presley. Like he's awesome. He might do me way better than I do me. I don't know. Scott D'Amore used to always joke and say that about Rhino. He trained Rhino. He's like, Rhino copies everything I do, except he just does it better than me. So maybe that's the case. So I'll humbly, say I think Bray Wyatt's amazing. But he would always say, why do this? Why do that? Why do you call your finishing move Tallulah Bell? And I told him, I said, I named it for my dead sister, my dead sister. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That's crazy. I go, well, because just like her, when I hit somebody with that move, they ain't getting up. Right. I was like, oh, that's so harsh. And when I got canned,
Sister Abigail. Yeah. Wow.
So all the little detail stuff, like I'm cool with it. But my family thing, like my sister thing kind of stings, I'm happy he made a success out of it. But at the same time, like, that's my sister, So, and again, I'm proud of him. I think he's talented as fuck, but that's my sister. All the other little things, the little details are cool. Like, again, he thought of so much stuff by himself, but at the same time, some of our conversations went like this. Hey, Sinner, the office wants me to wear trunks. I'm kind of chubby. I don't think I could pull off trunks. What do you think I should do? Maybe a singlet? And I remember joking, saying, man, a singlet ain't going to cover up nothing. That's not going to fool anybody. Like when you see an indie guy in a T-shirt or a wife beater, we know you're a skinny fuck under there, or we know you're a fat fuck under there. You're not fooling anybody. You're not pretending to be Rick Rude under that fucking baggy barbed wire T-shirt you're wearing. We all know. Fucking Stevie Wonder can tell you're a fat fuck under that T-shirt. So just embrace being a fat fuck, or hit the gym, or whatever, or wear. So what I told him was like, look, some spandex, singlet or otherwise, is not going to fucking hide or fool anybody. I go wear something baggy, like coveralls, or wear something baggy like a fucking Hawaiian T-shirt, like Cape Fear, like De Niro, which is basically like a Charlie Manson kind of Waylon Mercy kind of thing,
Totally.
I go, and if you're gonna go with the Hawaiian shirt and be, kind of Charlie Manson-ish, well, Charlie Manson needs his family. He needs a flock. And when I did the circus stuff, the animal masks are really creepy. And so he's just taking fucking notes. And he's like, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So proud of him. I don't know if he wants to remember those conversations, but it's fine. It's no problem. He can endorse it. He can go, you know, it certainly helped my payday. It certainly helped me if he was to go, yep, got a lot of ideas from him. Yep. Carl Perkins, Elvis Presley, and so forth. You know, all that shenanigans. Okay. But if not, you know, people are the way people are. So again, if this blows back and blows up in my face, well, fuck, whatever. So again, what Vince not going to book me? What Tony Khan not going to book me? What DeMore not going to book me? Well, because I spoke the truth.
Yeah, right.
You know, you speak the truth these days, and you're a fucking conspiracy theorist. So maybe I am.
Big time.
My God, super proud of the coaches I've had, man. You were 100% right, Jimmy, that they are the Mount Rushmore of coaches.
Absolutely. Well, leading into that, I think we're going to talk a little current affairs. DJ, hit the music.
It's a current affair. It's a current affair. Love it in color. It's a current affair. Love it in color.
All right, we're back with current affairs, and today we have Mr. Sinn Bodhi. And Sinn, you know, with current affairs, we always try to do a little something that's current, and kind of sometimes current is boring, and sometimes, like right now in these days, you know, current is not. Now, obviously, if we have Sinn Bodhi, you talked about your childhood friends, Edge and Christian. Are they not some of the, I mean, I know they're great. 10 years ago, they're great. 15 years ago, they're great. But right now, they're two of the best characters on TV. I know Edge is not with it, but he's got these vignettes that are clearly Edge. And then Christian and AEW, two of your buddies in two of the biggest companies, absolutely killing it. How cool are they right now, man?
They're awesome, and they know how to work. That's what it is. They know how to work. They know how to tell stories.
Right.
That's it. If you watch Star Wars and you see Darth Vader marching down the hall in the Death Star, and he's got stormtroopers getting out of the way, shaking in their little white boots, you know, and you hear that daunting Darth Vader death march and all that stuff, and everything fits. It all makes sense. And you hear Darth Vader's voice and how he moves around, how he's very stoic. It all makes sense. But if he all of a sudden started moonwalking and high-fiving people and going, "What's up, man?" You know, you'd be taken right out of it. You'd burst your bubble real quick, and you change your fucking channel.
Right.
Darth Vader knows how to tell a story. So does Edge and Christian. They are on point. There's guys that are bigger, faster, younger, more athletic. And yet, why are these two guys riveting to watch? Because they know how to tell a fucking story. And they know how to put grit on things. They know how to sell. Selling isn't just going, ow, ow, ow. Selling is getting angry. Selling is smiling. Selling is smirking. Selling is twitching. Selling is checking your knuckles. Selling is taking just a pregnant pause and letting silence do the work for you.
Yeah.
Selling is magic.
Yeah.
They are Copperfield. They are magicians.
Absolutely. You know, I really hate that they pulled him out of that Judgment Day gimmick. I don't know. I'm not expecting the details on anything with this, by the way. I would never want you to betray your trust to your friends. But what are your thoughts on them pulling him out? I mean, maybe you can't speak on this, but I just think that was so cool. It was like, I don't know, man. It was like they were like this underworld mafia of like evil. I don't know. There was this element to it that it was dark and cool. And I just feel like pulling him out of that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking more and you need to talk, but.
So I will on a little silly thing. So I just got married a few months ago, and in February, a little more than 2 months ago. And so Edge and my little shoot genetically attached little brother were tandem best men. Yeah. And people were joking that, man, soon as Edge got back from Las Vegas, he got evil and weird. Like, what did you do to him at your wedding, man? Because my wedding was fucking crazy. Like, it was everything you would expect it should be. There was awesome. Like Guinness World Record
be there, man.
performers and also what's that?
I said I hate it that I couldn't make it, man. I wanted to be there.
I wanted you to be there, and I get that. You know, I got brothers and sisters across the world. They couldn't be there for whatever reasons. You're there in my heart. You know, I love you, Wolfie. You're one of my boys. But yeah, it was you missed a crazy time. Like, I mean, there was. Just, I can't even explain it. Like they did a surprise performance for us. So, I mean, there was So let's just say my daughter-in-law got swung around by a dude, by chains that were hooked to a dude's eyes. He's big Andrew S. from the Go Big show. There was just all sorts of, there's dudes from America's Got Talent and dudes from WWE and dudes from Guinness World Records and Jim Rose Circus and just all this stuff. Like it was a crazy show.
Your history. I know your history and the things that I've seen you do and all that stuff. So I can imagine.
I just remember giggling, looking over, watching some of the performers do their shit, and I'm sitting there looking over at Dexter Loomis, who's sitting a couple seats away from me, Sam Shaw, and he was like, his brain just melted. He's like, "What am I fucking looking at?" And he's the psycho.
Right, right, yeah. I love his character. He was my first hard way. You know, he hard wayed me. He did a leg drop off the top of Alabama Jam. He did that, and I moved my face. Yes. Yeah, he hard weighed my upper lip, but it was fine. I got over it.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's great.
Sam Shaw is awesome. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah,
he was too funny. Like I just looked over at his face, and he's just like, when you see him on NXT, when his eyes all bugged out, like he looked like that the whole fucking time.
Right. I can't believe they cut him because honestly, I just feel like his character was like an onion that had so many layers that even if they weren't even planning on it, you could even go a different direction with his character, and he's going to pull it off as well, you know? So, dude. So like we were talking earlier about, do's and don'ts and whatever, just, what it shoulda, couldas about, the various wrestling companies. So much things above my pay grade. Like why are they getting rid of so many dudes? And there's all these funny conspiracy theories. They're going to sell it to Disney. They're thinning the herd. They're just trying to chum the waters in other companies and make wrestling. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. Who fucking knows? But why ever they got rid of so many wonderful guys and girls, right? Artistically, for me, is beyond me. I'm like, why would you get rid of these guys and girls? And to me, Sam Shaw is at the top of that fucking list. That dude is so athletic. He can do just about anything you want him to do.
Yeah.
He is at the perfect age to be a top wrestler because neck down, he's young. Neck up, he's wise.
Right.
So like, again, no offense. Like I was joking with some of my wrestling students the other day, but like, I'm like, and no offense to humans. So any humans listening to this, if you're triggered by what I'm about to say, sorry, but like, if you're 25 or less, you're probably not a whole lot smarter than a bag of fucking hammers. You will be smarter. You'll grow year by year. You'll get smarter. Like I remember I was this side smart of a bowling ball when I was 21, not much smarter at 25, at 30, at 35, at 40. So like now, again, my body, knock on wood, is pretty darn good. Like I can go, but I'm not a young guy, but I can go. But my neck up is where the money is.
Right.
Like I know how to fucking work. But Sam Shaw is like, he's at the perfect age where he is body youthful, head wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can do he can do flips or he can go toe to toe knuckle sandwich stuff. He's got fun character stuff. And they didn't even let the motherfucker speak and he got his character over.
I know.
And
great
he's a
character.
Good dude. He's a good fucking dude. He's not gonna, get a DUI. He's not gonna kill a hooker. He's not gonna fucking beat up a fucking cop. He's not gonna fucking get caught with fucking kiddie porn. He's not gonna fucking do any of the dumb things humans love to get in trouble for. He's a straight-laced, good fucking person.
Yeah.
Fire him. That makes perfect sense.
Right. Yeah.
And like throwing a punch, like we were talking earlier, like I was joking. Oh yeah, I got sidetracked and tell you that thing about Taz. Throwing that punch on 2.0, I'm throwing it right at his face, like an old school punch. I'm not throwing those bent wristed indie fucking punches that wouldn't crack an egg. I can throw a punch and I can Rain Man time that shit where like I could do that to my 14-year-old daughter. She'd never know I was there. And I threw those punches so mean where I could hear Taz go, "Oh shit, stiff." Not to pull the curtain back too much, but like I never touched that motherfucker.
Right.
Like I just know how to work. Sam and I'm bringing it back to Sam Shaw. Like he knows how to fucking work.
Yeah.
Like you could put him in there with, TJP. You could put him in there with fucking Gangrel. You could put him in there with FTR. You could put him in there with fucking Undertaker. You could put him in there with who the fuck ever. Rey Mysterio. All shapes and sizes of good guys or bad guys, and he'll be just fine. He would do wonderfully. So fire them. Yeah, it makes perfect fucking sense. And like all the young guys, power to them. They have youth on their side. But they need carpenters. There's no fucking carpenters.
Right.
And again, Wolfie, I know you know that term, but like for the fans out there, carpenters are wrestlers that are so skilled that they can just build motherfuckers in their sleep. Cowboy Bob Orton, Adrian Adonis, carpenters.
Right.
Christian Cage is the most over carpenter in the fucking world. The motherfucker walks to the ring with a board and a nail and a hammer and just builds the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Heel or babyface.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I would joke with him one day. He's like, fuck off. You know, I'm like, you're the only carpenter that ever got a strap. I'm pretty sure. Jake didn't even Jake is a carpenter. He just built dudes to send him to Hogan.
Right.
He just built dudes, just got the dudes ready for Hogan. He was a fucking carpenter. He was like semi-man carpenter.
Right. Wolfie D, carpenter.
Dude, again, what'd you say, Jimmy? Hashtag book new church.
Right.
Tony Khan, you want to see two bad motherfuckers build people, baby or heel? Book us.
Yeah.
Fucking shamelessly book the church. We will get our heat. We will get motherfuckers over.
Yeah.
We will carpent our fucking way all the way up.
Yes.
We'll bring our nails and our hammers and our fucking lathes and our fucking levels, and we will build. We will be fucking carpenters, bro. I'm pretty sure the biggest babyface in the world in history was a fucking carpenter.
Right. Yeah, he's still getting over to this day.
He hasn't had a match in 2,000 years. He's still getting over.
Yeah. So, you actually did my work for me, Sinn. I brought up one topic of your buddies and you brought up 3. So honestly, I think that rounds out our great current affairs. I got to ask you this though. So one of your resume is a term that I saw and I read about it and it's just enthralled me, is the idea of fantasy slam. Why don't you tell us a little bit about fantasy slam before we go?
Sure. Awesome. Okay. So that's something that we still do. We do it by appointment only. It's basically like a fantasy camp, whether you're rock and roll fantasy camp or baseball fantasy camp, whether you are athletic or not athletic. You could be a 65-year-old one-legged lawyer. I don't care. If you want to scratch that itch and take, do that. What was that movie with Billy Crystal and where they go like on the ranch?
It's City Slickers.
City Slickers. So they're basically going on like a cowboy fantasy camp and the Ripley's Believe It or Not guy, he's keeping them alive in the fucking in the forest or whatever. He's just showing them this. They're just a bunch of tenderfoots. They don't know what they're doing, but he's just getting them to play cowboy. So whether you're athletic or whether you're not athletic or you're young or old or guy or girl or whatever, if you want to take a half day, full day, 3-day kind of camp and kind of get a cliff noted, very safe, guaranteed fucking safe little just taste of what pro wrestling is, that's what I would do for you. And I'll take the bumps. You stick out your arm, I'll take the clothesline. I'll show you exactly how to do it. All this stuff. I'll show you how to do some super safe stuff. And again, I'm so fucking safe in the ring. It's not even funny. It's like I make that promise to every wrestler. I'm never going to be whoops, sorry, you moved the wrong way, bro. Never. You could move as goofy as you are as a professional, let alone somebody in a fantasy camp. I fucking got you because I care about people. So to me, again, I'm a humble, silly guy, but I will be boastful and say, never going to fucking clobber you. I will be preemptively sorry by being so good. I never have to fucking say sorry.
There you go.
Never going to hurt you. Never going to accidentally break your neck. Never going to accidentally break your knee or take your tooth or some such. So it makes me a really good dude.
I've got it.
Good. We'll talk about it.
I'm going to do a fantasy camp, but mine's going to be a level above that. You said City Slickers. I'm going Westworld. I'm going to fuck these motherfuckers up. Do you watch Westworld? What I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, for sure.
I'm fucking do that. So that's
wants to come back. Guys don't realize, just hitting the ropes, seeing their facial expressions when they first hit those ropes and realize, those ropes aren't friendly, and just watch it. Like I have had every single person walk out of there like a giant little kid at Christmas going, holy fuck, that was awesome. What I thought would be hard was easy. What I thought would be easy was hard. Everything is upside down. I don't understand. And I feel like a little kid. This was wonderful. This is so good. And like the first time I take a bump, like you said, when you're a kid and you heard that ring make that shotgun noise when somebody would take a bump, dude, I'd have like, a grown ass man go, oh my God, are you okay? Because they'd see me take a bump and sell a bump. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And it was just like watching grown ass people turn into little kids at Christmas time.
Yeah.
People have asked me, what's your favorite match or what's your favorite moment or whatever. And like being in the ring, I've been in the ring with so many, like, again, Wolfie, we're in that age pocket where like, we're old enough where we wrestled the 80s guys, young enough where we can still go.
Yeah.
But so I've wrestled all these wonderful legends, which I would say for my inner mark were such cool experiences. But to be honest, I wrestled this kid who had a mild form of autism at a fantasy camp. He flew all the way, him and his mom. He was about 24 years old, 23, 24. He flew in all the way from England with his mom to chaperone him because he just had, special needs and whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't know much about autism, but I'm pretty sure these motherfuckers don't like to be touched. So how am I going to do this? So I was very, very patient, very playful, very soft-spoken, and I did everything. This kid was not athletic, like like I'd have rather wrestled fucking Brother Love. That's how unathletic this fucking guy was. Okay.
Oh man. Wow.
yeah. I'll just put that out there. And so, I said it. And so, long story short, we do a day camp with this young man, and his mom afterwards came up to me in tears and was just like, I've never seen him have that much physical interaction and smiles with anybody in the last 2 years that amounted to today. Like, you made this kid smile more in one day than I've seen him smile collectively in 2 years.
That's awesome.
And I was like, well, holy shit, I'll take that. And then at the end of every fantasy camp, you get a full match from bell to bell with me, and I'll put you over. I'll keep you safe. You got video, you got bragging rights, all that jazz. And so when this lady saw that video, she had messaged me in her email, and she had said that was his favorite day ever. So I just thought, wait a second. Wait. You're telling me and pro wrestling were responsible for one young man's favorite day on planet Earth ever?
Yeah. Wow.
Well, fuck, I'll take that over any strap, over any his idol.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's on YouTube. It's on my little fantasy page. It's on my Freak Show Wrestling YouTube page. You just scroll down and it'll say Fantasy Camp. It's Sinn Bodhi versus Tiger. I want to say, we were just, what do you call yourself? His name, and he called himself Tiger.
Nice.
And it's not Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat, but it is spiritually awesome. And just to watch him, dude, it brings a fucking tear to my eye thinking about it. Like, it was just so fucking rewarding. Yeah. And like, for us to be able to do that, like, I joke with wrestlers. I'm like, what's your job? Like, to get over. Well, I guess. What's your job? To look cool, to do cool moves? Well, maybe. Your job is to fucking put smiles on faces.
Yeah.
That's your fucking job. Heel or babyface, working together. If you're a good shithead heel or a good monster heel and you make that babyface have empathy and get sympathy and fire up, and he saves the day and good thwarts evil, you make those motherfuckers boo and cheer, and they walk away spent and smiling and emotionally drained from smiling their asses off, cheering their asses off, you did a good job. Right. Otherwise, fuck off.
Right. I agree.
And I don't care if you do it with a suplex or with a promo or with a flex or a whatever. However you put those smiles on faces. Again, another Al Snow quote. Scientific wrestling. Here's how it goes. If it's safe and it sells tickets, it's right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I don't care whether tell it to Scotty Too Hotty's Worm, tell it to the People's Elbow, tell it to Mr. Sacco. If it makes money, it's safe, and it sells tickets, fuck, you winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, that's the whole ride right there, for sure.
That's a great way to wrap things up, man. And, we could go on for hours doing this, me and you, talking about different stuff. There's so many aspects of the business we could dive off into and go down rabbit holes and all that other mess. But what we're going to do...
Well, that's what Empire Strikes Back is for, bro. That's what the sequel is for, brother.
We're going to put in the show notes and links and all that. We're going to put links to be able to contact Sinn for his custom figures. We'll put links to the fantasy camp. We'll put the links for my artwork on my stuff too. So all that'll be. Your
artwork is awesome, by the way, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I just really got a wild hair to start doing it again, and bought me a iPad and a pen, and I can do so much more with that. Yeah, I can draw on paper, but I just really love the freedom. Like I said, just working off the fly right here. But how you said you had an idea, I too just had an idea. I'm gonna put it to you right here, live and in color on Wolfie D's podcast for all the fans to chew on. And if y'all like it, bug the shit out of Wolfie D. Here's what I think. So I make like these, these LJNs, and I make them of wrestlers that we love from nostalgia, but I also make a lot of indie guys. Yeah.
And so this one guy ordered, or this one lady ordered for these two indie wrestlers. She said, but could you make the packaging with them? So I don't usually do that, but I thought, yeah, I could do that. So I got those clamshells, and I did on Photoshop a really cool backing, which was, whatever, like to see like an action figure, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but there's just not enough minutes in the day. And then my fun is with the 3D sculpting and with the sculpting and all that stuff, where your fun is with the drawing on the computer. So brings me to my idea. What if we tag team some customs for people that are listening that want customs? If you want a sculpture of yourself or your favorite wrestler by yours truly, Sinn Bodhi, your Warlord of Weird, your bargain basement Bray Wyatt.
Come on, man.
And you want it carded and drawn personally by Wolfie D. Well, if you're paying, I think we're playing.
Absolutely, that sounds good. I like it.
That's a great idea.
I mean, so when you get some, I don't know, whoever, super deluxe galactic destroyer from Kansas City, parts unknown, Cucamonga, and he has it sculpted by me and drawn by you. That's a pretty cool thing to put on your fireplace and
very
put
cool.
over to your kids.
Very cool. How can they get a hold of you about that? The LJN Customs, Sinn?
Social media, all my social media is the same thing. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's all Sinn Bodhi, SINNBODHI. Sinn with two N's, Bodhi like the tree, all one word. Just shoot me a message. And for some, all my stuff is public, so you can send me messages, whether we're friends on Facebook or not. You can send me a message or put a comment in one of my posts. Because sometimes, like, I think how Facebook sort of works is sometimes if you're not friends, the message might go into that other weird little folder that you might not check sometimes.
Right.
So just throw a comment. Just throw a comment on my, hey man, I sent you a message. I'll find you, or send me a message on Twitter or on Instagram, and we'll get it done. I do 100% of my anything that's not live. Like, if I go to a show or something, I bring some figures. I don't really bring a whole lot of them live. Like, I'll bring it to Cauliflower Alley. I'll bring it to local shows in Vegas, because just lugging those figures around is a bitch.
Yeah.
So I get most of my business, 95% of my business, I get off of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Love it.
Give me a message and I'll hook you up.
All right, man. Challenge accepted if they want to do that. And once again, thanks for coming on, dude. I know we tried this early on and static and whatever else didn't work out too well, but we got it this time. It sounded good. And I want to thank everybody that's been listening. Once again, man, the numbers are growing. You guys are doing us great. Share, tell your friends about it. Come and listen to Live in Color Wolfie D. And for Jimmy Screet and Sinn Bodhi, I'm saying peace out.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all. And all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
That's right, it's the Talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Booty Call and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
Join me, Gene Jackson, for the Jackson Interaction Podcast, where I'll be doing one-on-one interviews with people from the world of professional wrestling, as well as stand-up comedy. You can get them anywhere podcasts are available in both video and audio form, but you can find them all at genejacksonpod.com.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at WarrenWolf13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. Just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at James Rock Street on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap
He got a cap for your dome.
And here we go. The original white boy that came out sagging, not bragging, don't be hating, cause I'm spitting the truth. Still livin' in color. Plum rush your mother, utilize a hubcap, unlike any other. Back in the day, I was NOD, and I was P to the G, plus the 1 and the 3. In case you forgot, they call me Wolfie D. Been cloned and copied so many times, tired of suckers taking credit for what is mine. You know who you are without me name dropping. Wrestling's first white boy coming out hip hop. Been doing it like this since '92. Laid low for a while and you thought I was through. Listen real close to these rhymes that I've injected. This shit's so sick it makes your ears get infected. Mad skills, no faking, there is no one great. Cause I'm bringing more folks than Obi-Wan or Vader. Not here to play games, so you better beware. You don't like me, so what? I really don't care. Like time I keep ticking and I can't be stopped. You sucker step to the side unless you wanna get dropped. With my finish, I'll straight knock you out. Please allow me to tell you what it's all about. I'm gonna wind it up, then I'm driving it home. It's Wolfie D, baby. I got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome.